Hey guys, it's Jamie from G2G Coaching, and today we are going to be talking about push-ups, everything push-up related, and how to build up to your first push-up, and some of the key considerations that we look for in the gym in order to get a good first push-up. So push-ups are a really convenient exercise and they're great for anybody looking to improve their upper body strength, the way they look and how they feel, as they can be done literally anywhere. Okay, so one of the first things that we look for within the G2G coaching process is your ribcage and pelvis positioning. So maintaining a good core control and having a strong core and bracing correctly can be very helpful within push-ups. Common issue that we see with a lot of push-ups is people arching their lower backs and sort of dropping towards the floor. And when you're doing a push-up like this, you might look a bit like a floppy fish. Okay, so floppy fish push-up might look something like this. So you can see lower back's dropping towards the floor, arching, doesn't look too pretty. And a great way to combat this type of push-up is stacking our ribcage over our pelvis. Similar to what we would do in a plank position, and transferring that to the push-up can be really, really helpful to allow you to perform push-ups more efficiently and get more out of them. So I'll just show you a few reps of what that might look like when you set your core efficiently in a push-up. So as you can see, solid through the upper body and no swaying or moving around the hips. So you might be watching this and thinking, that's all well and good, Jamie, but I can't even do a floppy push-up, and that's absolutely fine. Everyone starts at a different level, and that's why you can modify any exercise in order to progress within it. So in order to progress to a full push-up, we might start with a elevated push-up. So we're doing a push-up in the rack here. It can make push-ups easier, but it's also a really good exercise because it helps us to remember to keep our core and lower body engaged during the push-up as well. So when we come into the rack, we're going to grip the bar, and where the texture changes in the bar, we're going to go a thumb's distance away to find our hand positioning. Of course, you can play around with this and find a hand position that suits you, but that might be a good place to start. You're then going to step away from the bar, and you're simply going to lower towards the bar and push away. And to make sure you're finding the right position on the bar should be lining up with your sternum and lower chest. As you get more comfortable and just through more exposure and repetition, you can begin to lower the bar further down the rack, and that's just going to continue to make the push-up a little bit harder in the rack. So same setup. And as you can see, it's a little bit more challenging. Encourages me to use a bit more of my core and switch on my glutes, and that will ultimately help you build to your first push-up. So a lot of the time we find with people is they can continue to lower the bar and get to the bottom of the rack, and then they can transition into a full push-up pretty nicely. But if you're struggling just to make that last little step, a band supported push-up can be really, really helpful. So you just set up a band at the bottom of the rack around the area that you're sort of struggling to transition from into a full push-up, and you would get into your setup position over the top of the band, line the band up with your sternum, and then do your push-ups. What we find there is where the push-up is the hardest at the bottom, the band is supporting us and helping us get back up to the starting position. So this is a really good exercise in order to help you make that transition into full push-ups. So no matter what stage of push-ups you're at, it's important to consider where your elbow is in relation to your body. So it's quite common in push-ups to see the elbows come right out to the back of us as opposed to in at our sides. So when we're doing this wrong, I'll show you an example. Our body will almost form a T-like shape in the push-up. So hopefully you can see my arms are almost making a T, and it's putting a lot of pressure on my front shoulders, and it's just pretty uncomfortable. So in order to avoid this mistake, it can be really good to get into a bit of a pre-push-up ritual, or like a little bit of a setup that you do every time, just to ensure you're in the right positioning. And for me, that looks like starting flat on the floor, taking my thumbs to my lower chest and index finger just outside my shoulder blades, setting that ribcage and pelvis position, and then pushing the floor away. And you should see my elbow positioning now. They're coming out to my side, and it's almost forming an arrow-like shape with my body. Okay, so hopefully you found this video helpful if you're in the quest for your push-up, or if you just want to fine-tune your push-ups. Hope you've learned a couple things that you can take away and apply to your next training session. Any questions, of course, drop us a message. Be sure to like the video, share the video, follow us on all social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.